and welcome to the latest episode of Tiger Talk with me, Giles Thomas. And this week I'm joined by new IFBB Pro, Jamie the Giant, aka Jamie Christian, aka Jamie Christian/Johal. Jamie, thanks for joining us again.
Yes, thank you very much. People won't know that this is the second interview, but everything happens for a reason, right? Now I'm a pro.
Yes, we actually did this interview several weeks ago before, obviously, you turned pro, and we had problems with your microphone, so I have to apologise for that. But like Rosie said, she said it's a better insight now that you're an IFBB pro. So, shit, where do we start? Okay, let's go right back to the start. Now, the first time I heard of you was when you won the Zach Khan Classic in 2015 in the super heavyweights. But let's go right back to when you started training.
Yeah. So I started training when I was 16. Like anybody, really, more for kind of a bit of fun, a bit social with a few friends. Impress the ladies as a 16-year-old. get the vest on. You know, you go through stages where you're probably 16 to 18, you think you're massive, look back at photos and think, my God, what was I thinking at that time? I was delusional. But anyway, I did my first competition in 2009. So, you know, 9 years ago. I think that was probably after about 6-7 years training.
Yeah.
Roughly about 22, 23 years old. Mm-hmm. That was just a local show at a gym I went to, and they ran an in-house show every year, kind of the members putting themselves against each other. So it was quite a friendly rivalry with all the members at the gym. It was really good. I didn't place in my first show, 2009, but I went back in 2010, the same show, and won the Misters category. So in 2009, even though I didn't win, I got the bug. 2011 was my first UK BFF show. Mm-hmm. I was 15 stone. So to put that into American terms, obviously a lot of American viewers, 210 pounds. Mm-hmm. And some obviously years later in 2015, which you're talking about, mm-hmm. I competed as a super heavyweight, and I think I was about 260. Mm-hmm. So in 4 years, I'd gained 50 pounds.
But let's talk about 2012 when you did the Classic.
Yeah, so in 2011 and 12 I did Classic class, 15 stone. So, you know, a lot of people said, even at that weight, I was still relatively balanced for my height, because obviously I'm 6'5", with good legs, mm-hmm. Which was, as you know, quite rare to see. Yeah. But I've always been bottom heavy. I've always been quad dominant. So the challenge for the last, however many years now, 6-7 years, has been to grow that top half and get more balance. So we're still chasing balance. There's still a lot of room to grow and fill out the frame, but obviously at 285 now at stage weight, we've done a pretty damn good job. 75 pounds added at that time.
Yeah, because obviously 2012 you were Classic, then 2015 you came back as a super heavyweight. Now, but you actually won the British finals that year in 2015, didn't you, as a super heavyweight?
Yeah, and I think I was 266 at the finals. I put on about half a stone since the qualifier at Zach Khan, which was in June, I believe. So June to October, we had a bit of time to have a mini rebound. But I believe, and obviously you can give me some feedback as well, and I think you have already in the past. But I think I won the finals because I was the most conditioned super heavyweight there that year. Yeah. The class really lacked condition. But not only that, I've always had a good stage presence and quite confident with my posing. And a lot of the super heavyweights, for whatever reason, were a little bit stiffer. So yeah, and we go back to that whole what embodies bodybuilding. It's not just about size. It's so many, and Sean Roden's obviously pushed that this year.
Yeah.
Hip symmetry, balance, muscle mass, everything. And it's subjective. One judge might like one physique, one judge might like another. So you've got to go for the average and hopefully come out on top.
I think aesthetics have always been in fashion, but it just seems that it's the aesthetics embody all the qualities: condition, symmetry, size. Where if somebody just comes on that's big and is, you know, they might have a bit of a stomach or they might lack certain body parts. You know, if you're like someone like you might think, oh well, this guy next to him is a lot thicker, but they might not be as complete as you physically. So, I mean, it's funny because in 2015, I remember the Flex editor, John Plummer, saying to me, ex-Flex editor, saying to me about about how good you were in the hype leading up to the British. And I was like, I actually said to him, I said, well, to be honest, I says, how can he be any good if we've not heard of him?
Yeah.
I said, I've not heard of him. I said, if I was being a bit like arrogant. I said, well, if I've not heard of him, he can't be any good.
Yeah.
It's like, and he just came in and you absolutely, you won. I mean, that was the year Sasan, was it? Sasan Harati won the overall.
Yes. And to be honest with you, at that time, I know my physique was lacking mass up top, but in the overall, proportion-wise, I didn't feel as though I was that far away. And I think that's the case in this time now. Obviously, we just had the Prague Pro, and James and Samson have just competed.
Yep.
And in the same show, the guy that I beat in the super heavyweight class in August at Coventry came 7th.
Okay.
And the guy that beat me in the overall, the heavyweight guy, I forget his name, but I think he's got a German name or something. But anyway, he came 7th. He won his pro card in the Dominican on the 9th of September.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah, and then the guy who beat me in the overall from Poland, Wolofsky or something like that.
Ah, yes, in the last Two Bros Pro show a few weeks ago. Yeah.
10th at Prague. So 4 people that I've competed against. It's a good kind of marker to gauge where I'm at now. Obviously, we'll talk about what my plans are for the future and going forward into a pro show later on.
Yeah. So obviously, let's talk about this year. I mean, I was at the first Two Bros Pro show in March in London that Rosie did the pro, and you what was it, 296?
Yeah, it's 11 pounds overweight.
Yeah, to me, you looked about, for your height. I mean, I know we did some video backstage, which I put in the Muscle News Weekly show. Yeah. And I just went, you looked better 2 weeks ago in the photos and the lead up. But was that just a case of like carb up gone wrong, or just?
Yeah, it was. I think it was down to the prep. I started prep 20 weeks out. For my kind of physique, how fast I get in shape, I don't need 20 weeks. I think it was just that I'd had the whole of 2017 off. I was very eager to get back into prep, and I started too early. So 10 weeks out, I was ready. And I had to hold my shape for 10 weeks. Progress pictures week after week were perfect. And then I think health and stress levels just started to deteriorate towards the end of the diet. And we carbed up too early, held water. And, you live and learn by every prep. I've learned every prep this year. I've learned something different. And it's worked out well in the end. So I can take a lot forward for next year and the year after.
But you still did very well in that show. You won the super heavyweights, didn't you?
Yeah, won in a tough lineup. And to be fair, the plan was to go in full. So we were full. We were just a bit overcarbed and a bit watery. And I think I'd overstressed my legs training, so they were holding some water, which are normally really dry. But it was nice to see that look, because I know I need to pack obviously a lot of weight on this frame now, up top mostly. And I was happy looking at some of the photos, how full my top half was. There's a side tricep shot with Aaron Hudson, and I just thought that's a good look with the lines and the tightness at 296, 300. That's what we're going for.
I mean, I can't imagine there's many guys knocking on 300 pounds with a waist that small.
Exactly, and that's one thing we've got to really keep tight. So this off season now, it's going to be long, but it's going to be a patient one, and we're going to be looking to pack on minimum 20 pounds to the stage weight before I get on stage again. So I want to be 305. 305.
Yeah. Wow. Was it? So obviously that was in March. I was at the second Two Bros Pro in June.
Yep.
And you won the super heavyweights again.
Yeah, in June I was a spectator.
Oh, sorry. Okay. No, this was in Ireland.
I competed in Ireland. Yeah. They didn't have a super heavyweight category, so it was a bit of a farce. But live and learn. I think that was my best look, maybe of the whole year.
Oh, really?
Potentially. Looking back at photos, I was really dry. I was 285, the same as my other 2 shows. So there's not much in the 3 shows past the first one. But yeah, not being a super heavyweight, I was like the odd one out. It's 3 heavyweights and then me.
Yeah.
And I think it took 4 shows this year for the judges to be able to take me in and realise that this big guy, this guy we're not used to looking at people like this, he's actually quite balanced. He's good. He can do some damage if he puts a little bit more weight on. And it's just took the judges these shows to see me digest all that they got to take in. And we got the card in the end. But yeah, I competed next at the August show.
Yep. That for me was that's the best I've personally seen you. And I think that was a really tough class. I mean, there was like the top 5, top 6 were all really good bodybuilders, really good physiques, some really like freak. Everyone was kind of bringing it, you know. Yeah,
and that's what I did at that show. I stood backstage and I looked around and I thought, shit.
Yeah.
It's game on, you know. We got some big guys back here.
Yeah.
But as you said previously, it's not just about size. It's about presence and posing, aesthetics, lines. And I've always had that small waist. So that's something I want to keep and I will keep.
I know we discussed this before, but when I put a picture from that contest, it was a front lat spread, I put it on my Instagram.
Yeah.
And someone came on, and I won't say his name, and he said, "Proof that tall guys can create a quality physique and compete in the open. This reminds me of a Quincy Taylor and Tony Freeman style physique." Do you want to tell us who said that?
There's none other than Phil Heath.
Yeah.
I could not believe it. Obviously... Yeah, you've got the contacts, but for him to comment on a picture of me, that blew my mind. That obviously it's bittersweet not getting the pro card, but that was the pro cards there for me.
It's quite ironic. It's quite ironic though that a few weeks later he got beaten by someone that was more aesthetic.
Yeah. But, you know, I think again, the Olympia was a week before the Italy show. I think with that happening, it might have been a great, you know, kind of impression on the judges' mind anyway, of how the IFB is travelling forward and what they're looking for. Because in my class at Italy, I beat another guy who was heavily muscled, but as I would describe, a bit more of an uglier physique.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Not as pretty.
Not as pretty. But yeah. He said that himself to me backstage. He called me a pretty physique. So I was like, thank you very much.
Nice.
But yeah, he's very upset he didn't win. But yeah, Shawn Roden winning definitely played in my favour, I believe, with the judges. And going forward, I see bodybuilding open changing that way even more. So I'm coming in at the right time.
So, I mean, I think I can't remember whether I was in Vegas or not when I found out, because it came up my Instagram feed and I saw the picture of you holding the pro card and I was like, yes, he did it. He finally did it. Because you, like I said, if you did your March show and you've been dieting 20 weeks then, you must have been on prep from last November to pretty much September. That's like a 10-month prep.
I was starting in October. So yeah, it's nearly a year.
Wow.
And like I said, towards the end, I really, really felt it on not just my body, but my mind. It was definitely time to call it a day. And I would have gone for the Two Bros show this coming weekend if I'd not have got it in Italy. But I threw all my eggs in that basket for the San Marino show.
Because I think with it was the top 3 in the overall of every category, wasn't it? Yeah.
No, not every category. The winners of each category got put in the overall, and then the top 3 in the overall got the cards.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting at. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was you the heavyweight and.
Yeah, me the heavyweight and the light heavyweight, I think, as they probably normally would choose.
Yeah.
But because there was that extra chance, that was the reason why I went to Italy. It was worth it. It was the possibilities of getting that card. Even though the October show at Two Bros had the same 3 cards, and it was only an extra 3 weeks wait. Like I said, I've been prepping for a whole year, so I want to get it locked up as soon as possible.
Seems like a silly question, but obviously, was it worth it going to Italy? You know, to going outside of, because now we have these Two Bros Pro shows. Say that we have more opportunities for good physiques to turn pro in the UK. So when I heard you doing Italy, I was like, wow, this guy really wants his pro card.
Yeah, definitely. And I think that's it goes to show how much I want it, because I've been competing now all year, a whole year's prep. Not only that, before the Italy show. So 2 weeks prior, I flew out to New Jersey to see my coach and train with him for the week.
Phil Viz.
Yeah, Phil Viz. Been prepping with him since the March show, so I've been with him quite a few shows now. We both get on brilliantly. He knows my physique really well. I have ultimate confidence in him as a coach, and that obviously helps towards your physique because there's less stress on your mind. But yeah, I flew out and trained with him. Went over to see Steve Weinberger at his gym.
Oh, nice.
Posed in front of him. He gave me some tips, and something like that. Taking money out of your own pocket, travelling out of your comfort zone, doing that so close to a show, that shows the character of someone, I think. And if you are that type of person that will do anything to achieve that goal, it will happen. You just got to keep going. There's a lot of extra things that I did.
So what's it been like? I know you have your own gym, but what's it been like sort of prepping for that long? Did you have points in the year where you just thought, do you know what, I might just take the rest of the year off, or I'll just come back next year?
Yeah, definitely. After the Ireland show, I'd given up.
Really?
Yeah, I'd given up because the hardest thing to take was when you come off stage, you know, my mum and my wife's been at every show, apart from the Italy one, but when you come off stage and you see how upset they are, that's the hardest thing to take. And after the Ireland show, came off stage, the wife's crying.
Oh no!
And it's just so hard, you know. She says every time you compete, to me you're the best. You're a pro already, which is, some people might say a biased opinion, but I believe it too. I believe that I was the best at certain shows this year and deserve the pro card. So after the Ireland show, that was a really kind of bitter pill to swallow. We travelled there, we spent all the money, and to not even have the super heavyweight class, I just thought, it's not meant to be. I think I had 6 weeks off season. And then the wife turned around to me and she says, I'm not happy. Is my face getting too round? She says, you got to do it this year. You got to do it. So if it wasn't for the wife, I probably wouldn't be a pro now.
Fantastic.
And it just shows, sorry Giles to cut you off, but it just shows one of the biggest things in bodybuilding, and I know people call it a selfish sport and say it's a solo sport, but it's a team effort. And it's took me and the team around me, especially the wife this year, to get to this goal. So a lot of people suffer and give up, not because they can't do it themselves, it's because they haven't got support to do it.
So what's it like? I mean, you have children as well, don't you? Yeah.
So I've got a son who's 9 and a daughter who's 11. She's actually 12 tomorrow.
Oh, nice. Happy birthday.
She's not in the house now, so I can say obviously loudly that in 2 weeks' time today, we're going to Disney World.
Oh, wow. Which one? In Florida?
In Florida, yeah. So it's Challenge the Giant. How many rides can you fit on?
I think you're definitely tall enough to ride the rides.
I'm tall enough, but at Alton Towers, I got told I was too tall to ride the Sonic ride. You got for 2 hours.
Oh.
And I hit the limit, and they said, "Sorry, mate, you can't go on." So I had to let the 8-year-old go on by himself.
Oh no, gutted.
Yeah. But with prep, with kids, with the wife, I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to pull any punches. I get robotic towards the end of prep, which, if we talk about the first show, has been since March. I've been a robot. Tunnel vision, distance. I just have to complete my diet, complete my cardio, complete my training, eat my food, bed, repeat. And I can't do it any other way. There are points where I can involve myself with family stuff and be normal, but I would say it's very rare. Just because I want it so much, put a lot of pressure on myself, everything has to be perfect. And I'm quite anal. I've got OCD with food weights and prep and gym timings.
I think you have to be. You have to have. If you want to be the best, you have to be OCD in everything, in every aspect.
I mean, Jay Cutler talks about how he was quite relaxed and he'd go on field and train at different times when he felt like going to the gym. I'm not like that. I need to have a plan in place. That's why now I've got the pre-workout meal. I eat at a certain time. I go to the gym and train at a certain time. And it's just all, your brain's like a diary.
Yeah. So how do your kids manage then? Do they understand what it's all about? I mean, I know obviously you've been competing several years, right through from when they were born. How do they understand it fully, that what you're doing and why you can't maybe spend too much time and you're not really quite in the room when you're with them?
Yeah, they do understand. I think they call me when I'm on a diet, grumpy dad. I'm not nasty. I'm grumpy, but I'm not nasty. But they do understand, and even at such a young age, I think the one thing they don't understand is how big the achievement is. What we've accomplished this year. I remember, because my wife in travel to Italy, she was with the kids on holiday herself. She told my son in the car, who's obviously a bit younger than the daughter, Daddy's won his pro card, and he was looking at his iPhone playing a game. He's like, "Oh, that's really good."
Yeah.
So yeah,
fantastic.
They're getting older. They'll understand more obviously as they get a bit older.
So how old are you now, Jamie?
33.
33. So you're at perfect age to turn pro, really.
Yeah, I think so. I think in another 2 years I'll be 35 and I'll be ready to definitely hit the pro stage. And my ambition now is to qualify for the Olympia, as obviously I'm sure it is for every pro.
So have you given any thought to what you want to do next year now?
Yeah, next year is definitely about having time off and growing. We've been in diet prep for a year, so obviously it took a lot out of the body. But I need serious time to build that mass. Don't want to step on the pro stage and then turn around to me and say, which everybody always says, your physique's great, but you need more.
Yeah.
I want to go on stage and I want them to say, wow, you've been working hard. So that's what I mean. We're going to have whole 2019 off. Off-season starts when I get back from Orlando in 3 weeks. And then it's just push, food, but we're going to be patient. A lot like in the past, I've watched the scales, and I've been very focused on those scales moving up quickly, which just knackers insulin sensitivity. You start gaining a lot of fat.
Yeah.
The muscle that you actually gain, you can't see, but it does slow down a lot. So the plan is to stay lean and grow.
What's the heaviest you've been up to in the off season?
In the off season, I normally get stuck at like 310, 315.
Right.
But this might be unimaginable just saying that, but I'm going to push this off season to 330, 340.
Wow. Do you think you can?
With Phil in my corner, with his knowledge, but with me knowing that I have to be more patient with things, taking time, I definitely think we're going to blow out the water whatever's happened in the past.
I mean, we talk about size and coming in bigger and bigger, but I think, I'm sure you understand the importance of this, but probably your calling card, I think, is your aesthetics. And if Shawn Rhoden winning the Olympia proved anything, I mean, say when he stands next to Rowley, he looks 40% smaller than Rowley, but he beat Rowley. So I think, because like you said, you do have really good wide shoulders, a small waist, big quads, big calves. For a tall guy, you are kind of the opposite way around. Most tall guys have terrible legs. Yeah. I'm 6 foot and I always struggled to get a decent amount of size on my legs. I just got them shredded. But I think slow and steady will win the race with you, because even if you came back 10, 15 pounds heavier and you keep that aesthetics, keep the small waist, keep, when you do the quarter turns and you've got that nice V taper, I could see you making a pretty good. I mean, look, take someone like Samson Dowda, who just placed 5th place at the Prague show last week. You wouldn't look at him and think, oh my God, he's, you'd think maybe, he needs a lot more size. But he went in, and because of aesthetics, he made an instant impact, and people were raving about him. So what do you think about that?
Yes, Samson, great shape, and like you said, proof that it's not just all about size. His shape, and particularly the way he presented his physique, was flawless, and it just draws your attention to him. So I've always said, smiles win shows as well. Because if you smile, you look like you're enjoying yourself on stage, the judge's attention is immediately drawn to you. So many bodybuilders get on stage, they're like this.
Yeah.
What are you doing? So yeah, presentation, shape, They are going to be two things that we'll be practicing and mastering. Then we're just going to chip away and add the size slowly. And like I say, if we come in 15, 20 pounds heavier, I know we can compete. And this is, I think, getting the pro card in this year, all it's done is it's opened my eyes up to the potential that I have. Or I've always been a self-doubter, because everybody's always said, you never be competitive because you're too tall. You're still frame, you know.
Yeah, you've proven them wrong.
I shouldn't be as big as I am. I shouldn't be on stage competing with these people and winning international shows. I should have got my pro card. But if I said to you, my aim and my ambition is in 2 years when I compete, is to be challenging people like Nathan. And it is the UK's top open bodybuilder. And we'll obviously put Flex in that category as well, maybe next year. I honestly believe that I can make enough progress in the next 2 years to get on stage in 2020 and compete with Nathan.
See, the thing is, what was a disadvantage for you in that your height probably was the obstacle for you being able to do well as a bodybuilder will end up becoming your strength, because when you do step on stage as a pro and you're looking pro ready, as in with an extra 10, 15 pounds or whatever, and you're starting to, people are really starting to notice your shape, that's actually going to make you stand out. It's not going to be a deterrent.
No, definitely not. And it's bizarre because
it's a small coffee.
Yeah,
sorry.
I've got these Pop-Tarts ready.
Cheers.
This is pumpkin spice one from America.
Lovely.
I'm going back out to America next Monday.
Yeah.
This Monday coming to have a video shoot with Gaspari.
Oh, nice.
And discuss a contract. So
wow.
That'll be quite good, and I'll keep people updated about that.
Yeah.
But it'll be a chance to get some more Pop-Tarts and American cereals.
yeah. So, yeah, that's exciting. Very exciting. So, thing is, I'm not surprised Gaspari has kind of gone for you, because they can see a potential with your physique. But the thing is, you are very marketable.
Yeah.
You know.
I think I'm with Explosive, the clothing brands. Gaspari, obviously, for the supplements. I've not had a chance to speak with Gaspari much because they've been very busy with the Olympia and things over in the States. But obviously, I'll speak to them next week. But Explosive have come straight in and took me under their wing and gave me support and said, we want to back you and push you. We understand how marketable you can be. And I believe that as well. You know, there's no other bodybuilders, no other IFBB pros my height, nowhere really close in the open division anyway. With the shape at an expo, I'm definitely going to draw a crowd. Yeah. But there's a bit of a story as well, because like I said, the Giants landed. The journey has started to grow even bigger. Yeah. And I want to take everyone in on this journey and just show people what is possible. Thing is, though, I mean, I think I first met you in 2015. Probably was at the British. I might have maybe seen you at one or two shows, and I see the way you interact with people on social media and on the podcasts and at contests, and you are a very likable guy. And I think that is a huge factor. It's like the company I'm partnered with, Time for Nutrition. They took on Alvin Small. Now you'd think, well, why would they take on Alvin Small when he's kind of like semi-retired and he's not really active? And the owner of the company said, well, I think he's just a really nice guy. And when you're on a trade stand and people are coming up and talking to you, you want someone that can talk and relate and connect with people. And, you know, it draws people to that brand. Yeah, it's a big part of it nowadays. You know, like I say, a lot of bodybuilders, they look like they're chewing a wasp. And that's why I think classic physique and men's physique have taken off so much, because people not only can relate to their physiques a lot more, but they can relate to their personalities. Yeah. Their social media followings. So, like you say, I've always been likeable. Don't take life too seriously on social media. And I'm just real. I'm honest. Don't put up a front. And you see what you get. And when people meet me, it's like, well, you're that person off Instagram. You're no different. I think a lot of people try and put on like an ulterior motive or, you know, a character. We've spoken about people with accents in the past. Yes. Yes, we have. Yes, we have. Yeah. So. I'm the giant. see what you get.
Yeah, I think, and if you look, I was actually talking on the MD forum this morning about bodybuilders that have been very, very successful in terms of everything, and it was people like DLB, Flex Lewis, Jay Cutler, Ronnie Coleman, and they're all kind of family people. They're very grounded people. You don't see them out partying, and the ones that kind of don't talk gangster with accents. But those are the ones that seem to the good things seem to come to them, and I think like Gaspari were probably not just looked at your physique; they would have looked at your profile. Oh, he's a family man. He's got kids. He's he's got businesses and stuff like that. And it's like, this is the sort of person we know that we can depend on, and he is going to represent us very well. So let's just talk about British bodybuilding in general, because I think in the last 2 years we've never seen this level and this surge of talent in the UK. I mean, it seems to be snowballing, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's amazing. It's an amazing time to be part of it. And, obviously I can count myself in that group of pros now that have turned pro recently. Feel absolutely blessed and honoured to be part of that circle. But as an amateur, I was still super, super motivated by everything that's going on around us. Amazing talent that we have in the pro scenes now going up. You obviously got Samson and James that have competed this year, done really well. They'll improve and do even better next year. You've got Luke, who's verging the Olympia along with Sass. At the Olympia. You've got Flex and Ricardo.
Yeah.
Crazy amount of talent for people to kind of just absorb energy from.
Yeah.
The amateur scene is going crazy as well. I mean, PCA doing some amazing shows.
Yep. The
athletes that they're churning out is fantastic. Then you've got other federations that are some real decent guys in as well. Yeah,
I mean, I actually don't normally feature athletes from any other federation in like Muscle News Weekly. It's just I don't know why. I've not been told only feature, but I've actually got a girl in this episode of Muscle News Weekly of her. She's 21 and she's just won a PCA show, and I thought, do you know what? She's so bloody good. This girl deserves stepping outside of my circle or whatever, and I thought, and give her some publicity, because like I said, there are so many different things. The good thing about the UK is we've got so much choice. We've got the UKBFF, we've got Two Bros Pro, we've got NABA, we've got WABA, PCA, all the natural federations. We've got 3 or 4 natural federations, 2 or 3 fitness federations, IBFA. It's fantastic, the fact that we've got all that choice, because sometimes I think certain physiques suit certain divisions. Like, say, someone like yourself, just say you hadn't have done well as a super heavyweight, you probably would have done very well as a tall class in NABA.
Yeah.
Yeah,
definitely. I think I've always been a loyal guy. So where I start is where I normally stay.
Yeah.
If I'm happy. Obviously I was forced to leave the UKBFF because of what happened, and luckily the Two Bros came to the UK and gave people that possibility and that path to the Olympia. So very thankful for that. But yeah, if that didn't happen, I still would have been with the UKBFF and challenging for my pro card next weekend.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
But yeah, the potential in the UK now is great, and I think the only thing that needs to happen is from one federation maybe is to open the doors across board. Because it's just going to be, that's obviously going to be the best for British bodybuilding.
Yeah.
To freely compete wherever they want, to have the best talent at every show. I just can't see any reason why that wouldn't be possible. You've
got to adapt and evolve and to move forward to keep people loyal to you, like you said. So I've heard rumours. I've heard a rumour there might be an open pro show in the UK next year.
Okay.
So how do you feel possibly about that?
I think I would love nothing more to compete in the UK as a pro. But if the time's not right, it's just, that's it. I'm not going to force this physique. I'm not going to potentially extend the period of time whereby I'll be ready to make that jump to the Olympia stage. That's what I'm thinking, the Olympia stage. So if cutting my off-season short and dieting for a show in the UK just because it's in the UK would extend the filling out of my frame by another 6 months, it wouldn't be worth it. So I would spectate, maybe guest posts.
Maybe guest pose. Yeah, yeah. Now, you what? Talk about posing. You're actually a very good poser, because I think the level of posing nowadays is shocking.
Yeah.
I think it's terrible. But you actually obviously rehearse your posing routines, don't you?
Yeah, I do, and I think it's something that should be done because I was brought up watching the guys like Bob Paris, Lee Labrada, fantastic posers, and
Yeah.
it was so artistic, and that was bodybuilding to me.
Yeah.
Nowadays, or we transitioned through a phase where you had your Branch Warrens and your Jay Cutlers and your Ronnie Colemans, where it was all about mass and grunts and most musculars for every pose.
Yeah, yeah.
It's coming back around because of Arnold, and it's a great thing. And I think more people now are practicing posing. But if I could give any advice to any amateur, especially running into a contest, it's practice your posing, particularly quarter turns and mandatories, because I think what won it for me in August was the fact that I was so well conditioned with my posing.
Yes.
Didn't drop the pose. I held everyone in. Stomach was flat. People go on stage, they're shaking like a dog, and it's only because they've not practiced.
Mate, it baffles me how, okay, you might not be a great poser in your posing routines. You might not be very natural and fluid with your transitions. You might be a bit clunky. But I could put someone through compulsories and I could get them hitting their compulsories right in 30 minutes. If they remembered it, they would be able to walk on stage and be able to hit the compulsories correctly. So you get like pros coming on who've been competing for years and they can't even hit their compulsories right.
Right, crazy.
It's like, come on, guys. If that's how you're judged, you are judged on those poses that you hit. Yeah. Why can't you actually hit them right? Because it doesn't take a lot to be able to go to someone and say, look, like you do the side tricep with your leg back, don't you? Yeah, it's like, so obviously you've looked at that and thought, well, that suits my physique better. I mean, like the way you hit your front lat spread, I mean, your rear double bicep, your poses are perfect. And you don't look at it, it looks effortless. Like Lee Labrada said, even if it's hard and you're out of breath and you're tired, smile, make it look effortless. Like the guys when they're hitting most musculars and their faces look like bloody exploding tomatoes. And you just think, come on, guys, come on. I remember when I was out in Holland once and when Rowley was with Sybil. And she was, at the end of every single session, every day, they would spend 30 minutes on going through his compulsories. And then you'd see him at a contest and he'd be doing a most muscular with his shoulders up and hunching over. And like his lats wouldn't be popping out. And she said to me, Giles, you've been out there in Holland when I've literally, she said, every single day. She said, but he gets up there and he gets excited and the adrenaline kicks in. And it's like he just forgets everything. And it's I don't know. It's like I said, it's great that we've got someone like yourself that is, and the thing is, when you become a pro, you'll be able to pose for longer, and you'll be able to put really, really nicely put together posing routines. I think that is definitely in your favour, and I think it's something that I'm surprised other people don't take advantage of.
It's something I'm definitely looking forward to. I think as an amateur, you definitely rush through shows.
Minute.
Kind of rushed on and off stage. Looking forward to that first pro show where I think it's going to be special. You're going to get more time to just take the event in and absorb everything. Yeah.
So let's talk about training, because sometimes you see tall guys, like you'll get someone like Stan Efferding who's like 6'1", 6'2", and he'll look like, because of his long levers, you'd think that guy wouldn't be strong, but he's brutally strong. And you get some tall guys that don't actually lift a lot of weight, but are very, very muscular. Which one are you?
I think I'm relatively strong, upper body, pressing. If we talk about dumbbells in pounds, I'll do incline dumbbell press at 170 pounds.
No, wow.
I'm going to get my phone out and calculate that for the UK. What's that? 170. That's like 77 kilos.
Yeah.
For incline dumbbell press. So that would be for 8 reps, so not too bad.
That's impressive.
One thing I would say, squatting, people think, massive legs, I bet you can squat 6 plates a side or whatever like that. I've always found squatting quite dangerous, and the point of like diminishing returns past a certain weight. So if I can get 2 reps on 5 plates a side, or I can get 10 reps on 4 plates a side, I would train at 4 plates a side.
Yeah.
And do it with control and make sure that the muscles are working, rather than using momentum and whatever bloody muscle group I could to get that bar back up. And with that, an element of safety as well. So I would say my training style is a little bit less weight and slightly more volume.
Right.
But what I'm going to do for this off season, I'm going to switch that. I'm going to train less volume, so I'm going to get more rest.
Mm-hmm.
Less frequency, so I'm going to get more rest.
Yeah.
And every session, I'm going to attack more of a Dorian Yates style, heavy, all-out set, and then move on to another exercise.
I was
in between us.
Yeah. You see, I'm like 6'1", and when I was like in my 2021, I used to train like a power bodybuilder, and I would find that to get my poundages up and to try and put a bit of size on, I'd like have to do like a Dorian Yates style training. I'd do my hamstrings first. I'd put squats, I'd do barbell squats, and then I'd go 1 plate, 2 plates, and then I'd jump straight to 4 and just do 1 set.
Yeah.
Because I found that squats were so taxing that I found that, to get my poundages up, to put a little bit more weight on each week, you have to try and do less sets and try and really focus for 1 or 2 really all-out sets,
Definitely. I think that's what I've realised in the past 4 years of training. When I think back, what I've been doing is I've been doing my max set, but then I might repeat that twice.
Right.
Massive drop set. So your central nervous system by then is just fried.
It's fried, yeah.
And your recovery takes twice as long. You're not growing as much muscle after the session because it's all about repairing the central nervous system first. Like you say, it's about probably being a bit smarter and doing the 1 set, but going all out.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just trying to remember when we did the last Tiger Talk. Did you say you go all the way down?
Yes.
All the way down?
Yeah. I've got quite a good range of motion for the squat, to be fair.
Wow.
Just past 90. I wouldn't say my ass is on the floor, but I can definitely touch the hamstring to the calf.
Really?
Yeah, so
6'5".
A good squat.
See, I found what I did. For about 6 months, about years ago, I tried squatting to the floor, and I found the only thing that grew was my ass.
Yeah, that's probably why I got a big ass.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah, great. So cool. Okay, so what did you think of the Olympia?
I thought the Olympia was brilliant. We actually spoke on the last interview about Rowley doing well. Yes,
we did. Yeah. I wanted to see him in top 3.
Arguably, and you got it. But arguably for me, and I think you might agree, he could have been second.
Yes. Yeah.
Obviously, he didn't get second because of politics, maybe.
I think it's because at the judging on the first day, his waist didn't look as good as it did on the second day. On the second day, his waist was like yours. It was flat, tight. And I think, because Roden brought his best on the Friday, and then Phil looked a bit better on the Saturday. Rowley looked better on the Saturday, but I felt like the decision was already made by then. And I think if he didn't look like that on the Friday with the waistline, there's a potential, I think possibly he could have been second, yeah.
Yeah. I just can't believe since the Olympia that Phil Heath is actually doing all these interviews now, which is good, but he's putting himself across wrong. He's making out that he's humble and he's taking defeat graciously, but then he's kind of saying he should have still won.
I know.
And he's not accepting the reason why he lost. And his waist, it looked terrible. It was obviously a medical issue as well, because you could see how the abs had split and there was no definition there. But like we said earlier, posing fitness, he was dropping out of poses. There was the last ab shot, he just gave it up.
I know.
Blowing out and leaning over, and that's Mr. Olympia. If you're doing that, it's going to raise eyebrows. You're going to have photos taken. You've got to take it on the chin. And I think he should have just said, you know what, I lost because my stomach was how it was, but I'm going to readdress it. Yeah.
I saw him at the Superstar seminar on the Sunday. I was sat right in front of him, and I filmed it on my phone. And he did, in fairness, he came across very, I was really watching him. I think everyone was very quiet watching him because they wanted to see how he was going to react. And in fairness, he did react very well. He was very respectful to Shawn. But I think it's something gets the better of him, and I feel he gets defensive, and it doesn't do him any favours. You're better off just leaving it that, saying, you know what, okay, Shawn was on, I was off, I'll come back next year and I'll beat him. And it would generate hype. Maybe Kyle come back, maybe Dennis Wolf will fix himself and come back, and and it kind of builds excitement. But the thing is, sometimes I think people reveal themselves a little bit more when they lose than when they win. And I think it's just cut it.
He's trying to handle it well, but then his real feelings are
But the thing is, some of these media outlets, I think they bait them a little bit. I think they know what they want to get out of them, and I think they know how to manipulate certain people. Because if you watch certain interviews, he comes across very well, and other ones you just think, is that it? May be the way they edit it. It always seems to be those same types of outlets that seem to get the negative and the ones that get the positive. You know.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Maybe prodding him a little bit.
Yeah. So now I know we talked about this on the last one we did, which didn't record properly. But I've spoke to you about maybe getting involved in films.
Yes.
Marvel films. Marvel films.
Yeah, Marvel films.
Yeah.
Definitely something that I think I will be well attributed to. Most definitely. I think it's just getting the contacts, and I did speak actually a little bit to Martin Ford.
Oh, brilliant.
A few months ago about how you kind of make the first steps into the industry and finding contacts. And you need a show reel, you need to do acting classes. So it might be something I look into because it's something I am genuinely interested in. And I think the more time I spend out in America and the more contacts potentially I can meet and speak to, and more people that see me, the more my profile grows. Maybe someone will approach me. But that's yet to be seen. But it's a potential.
See, the thing is, there are agencies out there that, say, Marvel's making a film, and they say, right, we need guys that are 6'2" plus. We need them to be heavily muscular. I said this last time. I said there's not going to be many people that are going to fit that bill. There's going to be like Martin Ford is worked solid because he's what, 6 foot? What is he? 6'5", 6'6"?
About 6'5", 6'6", isn't he?
You know, he's a big guy. He's tattooed. He looks. You know, that guy is going to get part after part after part. I was at a Star Wars comic convention last year, and I had my friend Big George. He's like 6'2", maybe 270, 280, big, really big guy. He was just in a t-shirt. And the guy, Spencer Wilding, who plays Darth Vader, he actually stopped us. He was sat signing autographs, and he went to, he said, get your friend painted green. He says, and get him in to do some filming. And so we stopped, and I got it on film. I put it in the Tiger and Rascal show. And he was saying, he says, mate, he says, you're the sort of person they're looking for. Because this Spencer, he's tall. I think he's played the Wolfman in the Benicio del Toro film. He's been in Guardians of the Galaxy. He played Darth Vader in Rogue One. I mean, it's a long list he was in Batman Begins. Yeah. You know, it's like they play bad guys. And it's like, thing is, if you're away, say 2-3 weeks filming, that's only once a year. That's going to give you publicity, which Gaspari's going to love. It's going to give you so much. It's going to be good, positive promotion for bodybuilding, and it's going to be fun. And you're going to get a big wedge of money for it, which is going to pay for your next 2 or 3 preps. You know, so because I know Barney Duplessis, he won the universe, and him and his wife Josie were both in the first Guardians of the Galaxy film. You know, so they did They said they were filming, doing fight scenes with Chris Pratt, the guy. In the prison, and I think people just sometimes they see you. I was like, guys, looks like a superhero. That guy, you know.
I think what I'm gonna have to do, I'm gonna have to take my son to a Comic-Con.
Yes.
Get dressed up.
I'm coming. Me and Rosie are coming. I'll get Rosie dressed as Wonder Woman or something, and I'll be Batman. So okay then. Just trying to think of anything else we want to talk about. Do you want to thank any sponsors or any acknowledgements?
Yeah, definitely. I would like to thank Iron Monkey Posing Trunks because they've supplied me with trunks all year. They're the best fitting trunks I've ever had. But the design of them and the colours are incredible as well. So make sure you check them out. Obviously, Gaspari, big thanks to them supporting me this year. My coach, Phil Viz, has been a godsend, and the wife has to have the biggest thank you. Because, that will keep me in the good books, but no, she's been amazing.
Well, you wouldn't, we probably wouldn't, well, we probably would be talking now, but you certainly would not be a professional right now if it wasn't for her.
No, definitely not. So, owe her a lot.
What about your kids?
The kids, have a massive thank you. Family, people at the gym, Ilkeston Gym and Fitness. Everyone who's following me on Instagram, AK the Giant is the Instagram.
I'll bring it up.
The amount of support and messages I've had on there is incredible. it's bizarre. I think it goes to show how many people have kind of bought into the journey this year. The amount of negativity I get on Instagram is nearly zero.
Yeah, I've seen it.
Social media is a quick tool for trolls and people to digs at you all the time, and I don't get any of it. Maybe now I'm a pro, got more status, I might get more of that, but it's. I think it goes to show what kind of person I am that I get so positive feedback.
Well, I'd say, I mean, I do say this many times, there's probably only about 5% of people in this industry that I actually like following on social media. Yeah. I do, honestly, if it's very repetitive or it dulls my senses, I kind of just unfollow them and I just think, oh, I can't be doing with this, the same old shit every day. But, you know, it's like you do give off a very positive... I said this to Charles Griffin. I said, you're one of the only ones I follow because you put out a lot of content. You connect with a lot with fans. You know, and the thing is, you're very good with... like we were talking about this on WhatsApp the other day. You know, you're reaching out to all the media outlets. You've been on the other sites. And it's like, that is so important. It's so important. I think you need to get a bit more video content out, though, next year.
Just this week, had my cousin, who's a videographer, do a whole day following me, following me through a legwork camp. So that's the first of many. But as a pro, and through this year, I didn't know I need to do more video content, but my mind was just so bogged. So now I'm looking forward to getting more stuff out there for sure.
I would certainly like to see a bit more like home life stuff. Like if your cousin, he's just going to fit right in your domestic environment, maybe have him to stay to like for 2 or 3 days and just kind of just film you generally around that, or maybe even set cameras up in the kitchen and stuff like that and get it edited. Because I think the fact that you're not just a bodybuilder, you've got a bit, you know, businessman, you've got children, family, you know, I think that's certainly, especially now you're pro, and going into 2019 with a view to competing next year, I really do think that show a bit more, maybe get some film footage on your phone from like Disney or something. I mean, I know some people don't want to be too personal, but just fun stuff, little clips. I think people like to see the real them, not just Jamie the bodybuilder.
Yeah, definitely. I think that is a massive thing now of YouTube. It's lifestyle based, isn't it? You know, you look at people like Juan Morel, the biggest hits he has on YouTube.
Yeah.
People eat.
Yeah. Well, the amount of food, the amount of crap that guy eats, I think anyone would be interested in that. Yeah. So, all right. Disney.
It's going to be a big challenge if I can fit on the ride. So, people would like to see that.
Cool. I told Rosie last night. I said, by the way, Rosie, we're going to Euro Disney in March because there's a 5-day Star Wars thing.
Oh, wicked.
So yeah, it's a shame you can't come to Euro Disney. We'll all go together. So, okay. And I want to give a shout out to AJ as well. He's been a massive supporter of yours all year. AJ, he's a guy off the MD forum, and he's he like guys like you and Tony Freeman, the taller. He says you've got epic swag.
Thank you very much.
Epic swag.
Talking about swag, I need to obviously give Explosive a mention because even though I've just been taken on by them just before the Italy show, I do sense some really big things happening with them.
Brilliant.
You already mentioned we're going to the Arnold Expo in March. So watch this space, maybe an explosive giant lion.
Oh yeah. Tell you what, mate. I'm so proud of what you've achieved this year because you know you're just a lesson that you just didn't give up. And I just think, and I honestly punched the air when I saw that picture of you on stage with the other 2 guys, and then you got your pro card. I was just like, oh my god, it was so inspiring. It was so exciting because I just thought he just didn't give up, and he got what he wanted. So absolutely amazing, mate. And I'm very excited as well for what you're going to be going into next year and all the things that are going to be happening. And hopefully maybe see you in maybe another Avengers film or something as one of the baddies or one of the goodies, or maybe you can replace Henry Cavill as Superman. So that'd be quite cool.
We got a little twist.
Yeah. Okay then, Jamie, big thank you there. And I'll leave you to your breakfast because I'm going to go have mine now. So with Jamie Christian, aka Jamie the Giant, I'm Giles Thomas for Tiger Talk, and we will see you next week.
A matter of days before you can get Mighty Me, the Rascal range second product. This one is a non-stim fat burner. It's an incredible product that I can't wait to bring to you. It works on the female hormones to create more harmony within the body, so your body is functioning better, and then you're going to be able to drop fat easier. So you will be able to get these over at Ultimate Fitness for you in Leeds, and also on my shop, on my site.